Okay, we're back. We got cut off rather abruptly. The batteries died, I think, so we should be able to finish up right now. Okay. We left off, I think, at, where the two alien beings shook hands with the boy, and he was asking him a question, so we'll start with that question. One question Jimmy meant to ask was that if it took 2,300,000 some years for light to reach Earth from the Andromeda Galaxy, wouldn't that mean that we would be observing it as it existed 2.3 million years ago, and that if it suddenly disappeared at this moment in our time, would we not know it for another 2.3 million years? That seemed like a very good question to ask, for it would mean that when we look out into space, we are really looking back into time. Now that he thought of it, his science teacher had said that it takes 8 minutes for light to reach us from the sun. So if the light disappeared 3 minutes ago, if the sun disappeared 3 minutes ago, we wouldn't know it for another 5 minutes. What a thought, Jimmy realized, that not a solitary soul would ever believe one word of his communication with the space people, assuming that is that he would ever be foolish enough to try to tell anyone. Of course, they would never believe he had met and talked to President Lincoln either. My gosh, what was he saying? It had all been a dream. These things just don't happen, of course. Magic shoes are not supposed to exist either. Jimmy sat down on the edge of the bed. He was getting a headache. Maybe everything that has happened, the magic shoes, the floating around, the White House, the Pentagon, Major Flynn, all of it, all just a dream. He'd probably wake up any minute now with his mother shaking him. Come on, Jimmy, wake up. You're going to be late for school. And wouldn't you know it, that is exactly what happened. Jimmy rubbed his eyes. Okay, Mom, he said, and probably went back to sleep again. Now, it seems to me that what seems like a long dream to us can take place in only a few minutes in real time. And in the few minutes that Jimmy slept again, before his mother came back and forced him to get up, he continued his adventure. For some reason, Jimmy was vaguely aware that he was dreaming this time. Normally when we dream, we are totally unaware that we are dreaming. In fact, we really are not aware that we have any life outside the dream. The dream, crazy as it can be, is our whole existence at that moment. A dream can be very vivid and with very real people involved, often total strangers with definite features that we had never seen before. Now one might wonder how our brain is able to conjure up these images. After all, our eyes are closed. We are not seeing these people or their surroundings with our eyes. The visual part of the brain is being stimulated, but not by reflected light entering our eyes and activating our optic nerves in the normal way. So where are these images coming from? They're obviously not imaginings, because we imagine something, we don't see it as clearly as we do in a dream. The only logical answer is that our consciousness is in another location, while our physical body rests. And that place is just as real to us, sometimes more real, than in our waking life. Of course, there is often no sense to this place. For instance, we may see people who have died, and we'll talk to them quite normally, forgetting for the moment that they are dead. Or we may dream we are flying and not think that at all strange. That is until we awaken. And this is exactly what happened to Jimmy. In the few moments after his mother had awoken him, he felt so disappointed that his whole adventure had been but a dream. But when he went back to sleep, he promptly forgot about the waking incident and just continued where the dream left off. Only this time, he was dimly aware that he might be dreaming. Is this a dream? He said to Billy after hearing a knock on the door. Billy had entered the Lincoln bedroom. "I just talked to Abraham Lincoln and two aliens from space," said Jimmy. "Really?" Billy replied. "What's so unusual about that?" Now Jimmy was really confused. "I must be dreaming. If this wasn't a dream, you'd have said I was completely crazy." "Yes, I would have," Billy replied, "but have you not considered that perhaps what we call the real world is not as real as we think it is? That perhaps our so-called real life is just as much a dream as this is?" "Well, I know it's very real when we're there." "Yes, and so is this world just as real while we're here." At that very moment, Jimmy's mother woke him again. "Jimmy, Jimmy, wake up. You're going to be late for school. Oh, and there's a package for you from somebody named Major Flynn. What's that all about?" The end. Well, kids, something very strange going on here. It all seemed as if it had been a dream, but this package that his mother said was downstairs, the mailman had delivered, uh, was from Major Flynn, and Major Flynn was supposedly a dream character. So it's something very strange going on. So I've sort of got another continuation of this started. It could be a little while before I get back to it again. I've got some other things to do, but I'm retired, but I do some other things. Um, so if I get any indication from anyone that they like this story and would like to see more of it, a continuation, something like the Harry Potter books, where they had many stories, although these are not anywhere near as complex as the Harry Potter books. And I don't mean to compare as such. However, my niece in England had read it at age 9, and she wrote to me, she sent me an email, she said it was the best book she'd read in England, so I don't know, it's her opinion. I'm not saying, claiming anything like that, of course, but I am hopeful that maybe, a regular publisher will pick it up at some point in time, and maybe it could become well known. And it could be a neat little movie too, I think. It's very visual. But I would like some feedback to know if I'm on the right track or not. I would appreciate that. And also to know whether I should continue with my other stories, Abducted to Oz and The Forest Monster of Oz and Dorothy's Mystical Adventures in Oz. I don't mind reading them if I know that someone's interested in watching them. So anyway, thanks again. And I know some so far have been following me on this, so someone, I think, hopefully is enjoying it. So thanks again. Take care.